Woe is me if you're the Buffalo Bills. The Chicago Bears are smiled upon heavily by football critics as we review the NFL Week 1 power rankings. The Buffalo Bills have fallen 8 spots while the Chicago Bears rise 9 spots, and we will start by reviewing the bottom of the football rankings, going from 32 all the way to 1 as we dig in and start with number 32 with the Indianapolis Colts, who stayed at rank number 32. They could probably gallop past this 32 ranking after week 1 should they win their first game of the season, and especially if Andrew Luck is playing anything like his old self. They have it's the same Colts as last year, but they just have Andrew Luck now. So that's why they're ranked as the worst team in football, ahead of number 31, the Buffalo Bills. As I said, woe is me if you're the Buffalo Bills. They fall 8 spots from their 23 rank the week before. They're having Nate Peterson start in week 1, not Allen, because he damn near got killed by that horrible offensive line. A receiving corpse that checked in at the very bottom of Pro Football's focus position group rankings. The Bills plummeted. And I don't know if they're going to pull it out. They probably will be the 32 ranked team following week 1, as I'm not quite sure who they play, but it doesn't look good if you're a Bills fan this year. Number 30, the Cleveland Browns, who moved up 1 spot, and it's talking about Baker, but I'm pretty sure Taylor's starting for them on week 1. There's a weird shot. This is a pretty decent little football team. Doo-doo-doo. On that note, the first string defense looks to be as strong as those groups help Cleveland. The first string defense looked to be as strong as those groups that helped the Cleveland to 3 conference championship games in the late 1980s. Positive vibes aside, can't go higher than 30 on a team that has lost 31 games the last 2 years. Not until they win at least one anyway. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 29, the New York Jets, who moved up 1 spot from rank number 30. A lot of this probably revolves around Sam Darnold and the enthusiasm around him, but they run into Detroit at Detroit. That's going to be a very tough game for this young team. This sounds just about right. The Jets aren't that impressive other than the hype around their quarterback. Number 28 is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who stay right in the middle. Um, they're going to be without Jameis Winston for the first 3 games, I believe, as he has, the 3-game suspension. That's I mean, say it's that's why they're ranked so low is because they don't have Jameis Winston coming right out of the gate. They have to play the Saints, Eagles, and Steelers. Could be an 0-3 start for this team, hence the low rank, hence why everyone's not very optimistic. And rank number 27, the Seattle Seahawks, falling 2 spots from 25 last week. 2018 looks to be a transition year in Seattle, barring a few surprises. If Pete Carroll's guys are actually able to contend in the NFC West, running back Chris Carson, sorry, will be a huge reason why. Oof, it's just a weird time. I mean, without Earl Thomas, I mean, the fact that he's holding out and it seems as though they're going to be trading him, because I mean, it says I'm talking about this guy in case you're wondering, and it's going to be it's Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas, comeback player of the year. No shock there. And coming in at 26 is the Washington Redskins, falling 5 spots. The 26th spot is probably a bit low for the Redskins, but Darius Geis's torn ACL threw a wrench in their plans. Plan B, the aged Adrian Peterson, who I have in the past predicted to be the breakdown player of the year. Um, this is Washington. This is not going to be a good team for them. So, a good year for them without the star running back that they hope we're gonna have. I don't even know who their quarterback is. Yeah, this is about where they belong. They were at 21 before. So, coming in at 25 is the Arizona Cardinals, who are up 1 spot from the 26th rank last week. So, rank number 25 now. They have a very good defense and a very good wide receiver for who's ever playing quarterback for them, whether it be Sam Bradford or uh, Josh Rosen. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. So yeah, we're going to see this. They're about where they belong in terms of a rank. I mean, it's only really just Patrick Peterson playing corner. Yeah, This is just, yeah, they're just a very average franchise. Nothing really. 24, kind of a surprise spot for the Raiders, but following the Khalil Mack trade fallout, the NFL experts are a little bit sour on the Oakland Raiders, as is most of the league, who is now laughing hysterically at the Raiders for taking 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack and a second-round pick. I mean, they essentially just got robbed. John Gruden looks stupid. He better hope that Khalil Mack doesn't matter as much as he says, and that his justification works. Uh, yeah, no one's quite sure why the organization didn't pay its best player. If you feel the Bears paid too much for a top two pass rusher, you will get no argument here. Then again, can you argue the Raiders are any better today than they were at the end of last season? Because Chicago sure is looking better. Pretty slamming indictment. The Raiders look worse than they were last year, and they dropped 4 spots because of it, from number 20 to 24, putting them in the terms of the critics toward the bottom of the league, which is not good. Coming in at 23 and up 6 spots, wow, surprising, is the Dolphins of Miami. The Dolphins are slowly creeping up on the big board here, which hopefully means they won't be up using their big board to pick in the top 10 next spring. Meaning they're probably going to finish within getting a top 10 draft pick next year, like they're predicted to. They think that Ryan Tannehill is going to be a big deal and help bring the team back up from where it was last year, when he's really just the same thing as Jay Cutler, just younger and doesn't have diabetes. Um, Yeah, looking forward to the Kenyon Drake and old ass man Frank Gore combo. I hate the Dolphins. They should honestly still be at rank 29, where they fucking belong. This is an overranking. In at 22, down 4 spots from the 18 ranking, is the Dallas Cowboys. Um, Doo-doo. This is as high as we can go for a Cowboys team that is built to win whilst running the ball, but suddenly has defective parts. Tyron Smith's back has always been a concern, although he's fine for now. Zach Martin has a small knee issue. Lael Collins got banged up, and now Travis Frederick is out indefinitely. That's 4/5 of the offensive line to fret over, and 3 former first-team All-Pros. If you're scoring at home, oh, I read that funny. If you're scoring at home. We haven't gotten to the wide receiver corps yet. That's more depressing than seeing Ray Liotta in Chantix commercials. Oh, these guys got jokes. Eh, eh, eh. Fucking nerds. But yeah, no, the Cowboys are in rough shape. Their offensive line's very banged up. 4 out of the 5 guys. 3 of them are former All-Pros. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, in the receiving corps, I don't know who's on their team. They're going to be a running team, but that impressive line they've built up is garbage right now because it's hurt. Let's go to number 21. The Cincinnati Bengals up 6 spots from 27. The Bengals are not as bad as you think. With Cordy Glenn, Tyler Eifert, and John Ross healthy, the offense should make some noise. On to a bit of the house cleaning. Last time out, I upset Cincy fans by suggesting this group has no dominant defensive players that scare offensive coordinators. I mean, there's no top 10 level guys such as Miller, Donald, or Harrison Smith. Didn't mean to imply the defense doesn't boast some darn good players. Geno Atkins is still the best of the bunch and, along with Carlos Dunlap, is carrying around a fat wallet these days. Didn't like the George Aloka departure, but the Bengals should still feature a top 15 defense, placing them at about 21. Their offense looks good if Jonathan Ross stays healthy. And yeah, that's Bengals fans have a lot to look forward to as compared to last year, especially considering how they ended up last year. Number 20, up 2 spots, is the Denver Broncos. Not really sure why they moved up. What do fucking do? Number 19, dropping 5 spots, is the San Francisco 49ers, which is very expected because we're not too sure what Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to do because he has a very tough schedule. I mean, I think they open against the Vikings. Um, And then they also just lost future potential star Jerick McKinnon to a torn ACL. Uh, Afterthought signee Alfred Morris will carry the load. The defense, it's not that good. I mean, especially with Foster. Sorry for all the stuttering. Especially with Reuben Foster suspended for 2 games. So yeah, the 49ers we're looking to be in a very good spot. Then McKinnon goes down, and we're gonna have to see what happens. This is why they are no longer ranked at number 14 as they were before, because of the McKinnon injury, and now we have to the more pressure is put onto Garoppolo. Down 2 spots from number 16 is the Detroit Lions. The Lions are a decent football team with more answers than questions on offense, and more questions than answers on defense. There are a few sources of anxiety at all three levels of the D. The pass rush is middling at best. At linebacker, some folks are wondering if 2017 first-round pick Jarrad Davis was a missed pick. When it comes to the other kind of pick, who knows how many of the corners will get. Darius Slay, who tied the league. I'm stuttering and I don't know why. Darius Slay, who tied for the league lead in interceptions in 2017 with 8, is a fine player, while the rest of that grab bag bears watching. Why are they writing articles with such shit, like trying to be funny? You're just supposed to be reporting on what the team is. Yeah, okay, so they have a bad secondary outside of Darius Slay, crappy linebackers. Jarrad Davis seems like a bust, and the offense looks good, but the defense is questionable at best, meaning the Lions are a middle of the pack team. I'm just done reading their fucking writing. I'll give you their reason why, I think. Number 17, the Kansas City Chiefs, who stayed there again. Not many people are sure what the Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to be capable of. We all know Patrick Mahomes is probably going to throw a lot of picks, and he's going to have some hiccups as a system quarterback, first-year starter, second-year player overall. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch him just light the scoreboard up. He's going to throw some picks, but that's just how it's going to be with an aired-out type quarterback. I'm not too sure what their defense is going to have. But they're in a weaker AFC West right now, so that's another big upside. So without Khalil Mack as well for 2 games from the Raiders, that's going to be a big break. So, I mean, yeah, 17 sounds about right for the Chiefs. Down 1 spot from 15 is the Baltimore Ravens. Sounds about right. Middle of the road team. They're not the best. They're not the worst. They're literally just about average. The Ravens belong right in the middle. The defense is a little bit better than it was last year. The offense is a little bit better than it was last year. I think at some point, if they have a slow start, they will get rid of Joe Flacco for Lamar Jackson, who I find to be the future of this team. Yeah, it's just there's nothing special with that team. And here is the winners of the Khalil Mack sweepstakes. Up 9 spots from 24 is the Chicago Bears. This is not a simple reaction to the Khalil Mack blockbuster. It's merely a simple reaction to the Khalil Mack. It's merely a simple reaction to the Khalil Mack blockbuster. See, that's what I mean. They're trying to be funny with the way they write this shit. I mean, obviously, he's going to be, with the addition of a top 5 player, Mack's going to upset the NFC North and make the games against the Packers, Lions, and Vikings a lot more difficult. That's going to generate maybe a win more each in one of those series. I mean, this is going to be a very good defense now. Very much more stable defense than what Khalil had in Oakland. Um, this is Chicago has themselves a squad all of a sudden with just the addition of one player. It really goes to show you the value that John Gruden has certainly overmissed, because now the Bears look poised to be a real dominant threat in the NFL this coming season. We shall see after week 1 if it's all hype and smoke and mirrors. Number 14, up 5 spots, is the New York Giants. There's a new stud tailback in place. One side of the offensive line has been fixed, and Odell Beckham Jr. is back. That is why they jump up 5 spots and rank just ahead of a bunch of other teams that are just behind a bunch of the NFL's more elite teams, the playoff teams. Yeah, this is good. I mean, this is what the Giants belong at. They are a team that you can actually put a bit of hype on, though they just won 2 games the year prior. They have their entire offense back. Their offensive line looks a lot better. Their defense is always something to, marvel at. So we shall see how much better the Giants are. That's going to be probably the most improved team in pro football. Odell Beckham probably will be comeback player of the year. And we will move on to number 13, the Tennessee Titans. Sorry for the drink. Alrighty, sorry this is more of a podcast format type of a video. It's going to be a little longer. There's going to be a little bit more editing mistakes. I'm not trying to make this a quick hit because it is reviewing the power rankings. I'm going to do this every week that they come out. So this is content idea if everyone likes this, if it gets some views. But anyway, the Tennessee Titans rank at number 13. Um, they have a brand new head coach this season. They have Marcus Mariota. They have Derrick Henry. I don't know. Maybe they'll make the wild card. I don't really know. I don't think this is a very impressive team. I seen them last year compete against the Patriots. I think they're a little overrated right now at rank 13. I think there are teams that are much better than the Titans that deserve to be a lot higher ranked than them, especially like the Bears or the Giants, who would probably smash them in a head-to-head matchup. But I guess that's where the so-called experts want to put that team. I guess so be it. Now, this is a team I also see that is kind of a little overrated based on a few games by Deshaun Watson, who I think is a very good potential future star quarterback. But we don't know how he's going to respond after the knee injury. We don't know how he's going to respond as a full-time starter. Is he going to get hurt again? Does the team have depth behind Watson in case he does go down? But other than that, this is a very good team, and I can see why they are ranked number 12, the Houston Texans, down one spot. The running game remains a question mark, as does the offensive line. That is not what you want to hear if you are Deshaun Watson, that your offensive line is still suspect. Donta Freeman will be coming back at midseason. That's good. That's what they need. They have DeAndre Hopkins at receiver. That's always good. Kiki Cote, which sounds like Forever 21's make-off spin. Kiki Cote is now one of my favorite football names. Looks to replace the departed Braxton Miller. I I hate these guys' writing. Kiki Cote looks to replace the departed Braxton Miller. It's not hard to replace that fourth preseason game. However, run a bonanza marathon or something, anything other than the week 4 practice of games. Fuck these fucking writers, dude. I'm actually reading this word for word how they have that written at that point. That's a mistake. I want to show you guys how hard it was to like, because I don't really know much about the Texans. I know they have an aging defense. I think they're right where they belong. I'm unsure about Deshaun Watson and their run game, and that offensive line being soft is dog shit. Down one spot from number 10 is the Carolina Panthers, who find themselves out of the top 10 this week. Um, are the Panthers a Super Bowl team? No. That's all. Uh, one of the biggest questions is how well will the offense respond? They have a little bit of new weapons with Torrey Smith and the rookie DJ Moore, and a new offensive coordinator in Norv Turner, which means the ball is going to be thrown around a little bit more. They're going to play to more of the passing strengths, I hope. Um, CJ Anderson's on the team as a running back, it sounds like. One of the problems with this is the fact that the NFC South is a pretty talented little division, with Tampa Bay being the worst team, but they're not even that bad of a team should they not be in the NFC South. You have to play Atlanta, New Orleans twice, and that's not easy if you're Carolina. That's going to be a fairly difficult set of games. There's a lot of questions with Atlanta or with Carolina, so I think they're a little high rated, but that's fine. That's where they belong outside the top 10 because they have more questions than answers, in my humble opinion. Big fan of Cam Newton, though. Hope they do well. Up 2 spots from number 12 is the San Diego Chargers at number 10 inside the top 10. Um, they are the actual favorites to win the AFC West, and that's probably because of that super offense that they have. Uh, Yeah, they have Melvin Gordon, I believe, still. They have Philip Rivers. They have a solid passing game. Antonio Gates is back. This is always a team that seems to have all the potential in the world, but somehow does the San Diego Chargers thing and blows it. So we'll see. This seems right. This is where they belong before any games start because they are the hype team that never delivers. And at number 9 and down one spot from 8 is the Green Bay Packers, the most overrated team in football this year. Who the fuck is Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to this year? Can someone tell me? Like, Randall Cobb's old. You can cover him. Jimmy Graham's garbage outside of the red zone. I'm not really sure. Is Aaron Rodgers going to run down the field after he throws the ball for a Hail Mary with his eyes shut? After he gets his 30th penalty of the game because he looks at the referee and throws his arms up whenever he gets touched because he's a pussy and can't take getting hit, or he fakes and whips his head down on a fucking tackle to make it look like a goddamn face mask so they get another Hail Mary throw. Yeah, that Aaron Rodgers, what's he going to do? Throw the ball, run down and catch the motherfucker himself? They should sign Dez Bryant. Don't know why they haven't signed Dez Bryant because they need a wide receiver. Boy, doesn't that make sense? Shut up, we needed all the money to go to Aaron. They appear to be set for a playoff run. Really? Everything I've seen, they're fucking trash. I mean, if this team did not look like they got anything different from last year, they look like they only picked up Jimmy Graham. But it's just that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are the NFL's favorite team. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers gets streaky good in December, it's over. Really? Is it? What if he gets hurt again and re-breaks his fucking shoulder? I mean, it's probably going to happen based on history of guys that have had that happen. Manning had it happen. Tony Romo kept having it happen. Not saying I want that to happen, but the Packers are going to not do so well. This is a very big overrate. Like, who's he going to throw the ball to? Like, screw them. They're garbage. Alright, anyway, Atlanta Falcons, another overrated fucking football team, is the Atlanta Falcons, coming in at number 8, down one spot from number 7. Who knows how good they can be as we suck the Atlanta Falcons fucking dicks. Matt Ryan's the best quarterback in football, even though he choked in the Super Bowl when all he had to do was run the ball. What a fucking idiot. Well, the coach calls the plays. I can't do the play action because I can't, you know. He looks fucking stupid whenever I see him without his helmet on. Yeah, let's see. Ooh. I think we seen in 2016 when he won the MVP. He threw 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and had a 117 passer rating. Flash in the pan, lucky thing because nobody's seen it coming, and his team was kind of surprising. Punch in the face. Last year looks more like what Matt Ryan's going to be. The 20 touchdown, 12 interception, 91.4 passer rating, and I think that because you're not going to surprise him. I mean, they have a great running back group and a great receiver corps. That's always going to be their MO. But I see him. The Falcons aren't a surprise to anybody, as we've seen last year. Teams played them very well. They only went 9-7 and made the playoffs because they beat the Detroit Lions and had the tiebreaker with them on a fucking fluke rule that barely has ever. I think that's the only time it's ever ended a game. So they got in the playoffs on some bullshit technicality rules. So let's just consider the fact that this is a very overrated team. Matt Ryan's not that good because everyone knows how to play him. The NFC South is a lot better than they were in years past in 2016 when they got to the Super Bowl. I would put the Packers ahead of the fucking Falcons. Fuck them. I hate the NFL's Golden Boys. And I know my favorite team's got one of them in the Patriots. So it's weird to hear me complain, but up 2 spots from number 7. I don't know how they're up 2 spots. This is another team that just gets their dick sucked by the NFL. I acknowledge the Patriots do too, alright, but they've at least earned it with all their Super Bowls. Even if they cheated to get them, all the teams cheat in the NFL. It's just, who gets caught. The Falcons pumping air noise. Aaron Rodgers, the golden boy, likes his football is overinflated. Weird that they've kind of, whatever. Anyway, sorry. The Steelers will come in at number 7, up 2 spots from 9. They're not going to have Le'Veon Bell, but James Conner or whatever, the running back looked good. I think he's going to do just fine as a backup. Because I mean, even the players on the team make it sound like they're not too worried that he's not there. They're going to move on and win without him. They play Cleveland to start the season at Cleveland. Could be a trap game. We'll see how it turns out. They should come out and just absolutely throttle them, but they seem to struggle when playing Cleveland, as that is a very good rivalry football game. Let us move on to number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have fallen 4 spots for good reason, and that is because Marquise Lee is going to be out for the year with I believe it is a knee injury for Mr. Marquise Lee. Will undergo season-ending knee surgery and be back for next year. Yeah, they dropped a lot of spots because their offense is hurting. Their Blake Bortles all of a sudden doesn't have his security blanket to throw the ball to. Um, their defense is going to have to control the team. They're going to have to control and lead this team, and Blake's just going to have to prove he's not a little bit more than a capable game manager now without having a superstar offense. Leonard Fournette's going to have a heavier load, so we're going to have to see that. I mean, yeah, I actually agree. Look for Leonard Fournette to end up in the 1,200 to 1,300 yard range rather handily. Um, yeah, they're going to have to be a running team that wins on their defense, and that's the reason for the drop from all the way from 6 down 4 spots from the number 2 ranking the week before. Yeah, that's not good. We'll see though. Down 2 spots from number 3 are the New England Patriots. They don't got no one to throw to. Crooks gone. Danny Amendola gone. Dion Lewis gone, which sucks. Julian Edelman suspended for 4 games for PED or whatever. So yeah, this is going to be tough. The defense isn't that great, especially since they lost Malcolm Butler, and they lost a lot of people. There's going to be pressure on our defense, defense that's going to be without Matt Patricia, the guy who kind of was the architect of that defense, who was so bad at the start of last year that turned it around into a top 10 defense. Now the coach of my other team, the Lions, and that's great. I like that. But yeah, this is going to be a very difficult thing for the Patriots. They have Hogan and Gronkowski. We got this. This is going to be tough, but you know, Brady's going to have to work with less than he's ever had in his entire life. They play the Texans. That's going to be a difficult game. Going to really show what team is what. Bill O'Brien versus Bill Belichick. Always a great matchup. Up 1 spot from number 5 is the Minnesota Vikings. That is a very good football team. The only thing that really hurt them this offseason was the fact that the Bears got Khalil Mack, but they only have to pay the Bears twice. They can handle a couple losses. I don't think it's going to be that drastic. The front didn't look too bad in the preseason. The defense carries more oomph than the Patriots D at all 3 levels. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean they're like the New England Patriots, but the quarterback in New England is obviously leagues better than Kirk Cousins. They're gonna easily win the NFC North and probably easily go to the NFC Championship game, where I have them losing to the St. Louis Rams. But I could be wrong. This is a very good football team. Good defense. I mean, they're just a freak team. It's gonna be fun to have to play them. Up 3 spots from number 6 is the New Orleans Saints. I mean, the tall, athletic rookie out of UTSA only helps matters. Yeah, I mean, if Marcus Davenport fares even a fraction as well as Marcus Williams did last year's rookie, or Defensive Rookie of the Year Marshawn Lattimore, or Offensive Rookie of the Year Alvin Kamara. I mean, think about this. The Saints have the Offensive Rookie of the Year on their team and the Defensive Rookie of the Year on their team, and guys who are the same things as the guys they drafted last year. They're only going to miss Mark Ingram for a couple games this year. Drew Brees is going to be on an absolute mission to set that NFL touchdown and yards passing for a career record. So watch for the Saints to be one of the hardest teams to deal with 2 young, bright superstars on the field that could be MVPs or players of the year in those positions for years to come with Kamara and Lattimore. All right, moving on to the second best team according to NFL prediction people. These shitty writers anyway. The St. Louis Rams. Yup. You could have guessed it's the goddamn Rams because everyone knows who's going to be number one, up 4 spots or up 2 spots from the number 4 spot, because they're going to have Aaron Donald back. That immediately has bolstered this team to be a really big problem for many years to come with him and Sue on the same exact line. Um, they're the top threat to ruin the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl reunion tour part two, where they try to win two in a row. Jared Goff is going to be probably going to have another big breakout year from last year. This is, I mean, his team he's got Brandon Cooks to throw the ball to. They've got tremendous running game, tremendous receivers, just a tremendous team. This is going to be one of the funnest, brightest teams in football, and I believe they're going to be playing against the New England Patriots for the Super Bowl this year. That's how good they are, man. They've made a believer out of me. They're going to get there on that defense with Sue and Donald just destroying people this year. And number one, if you've been keeping score, is obviously the Philadelphia Eagles. Number one last week. That's because, I mean, they're going to have to use Nick Foles for a couple games, which is fine. Till Carson Wentz is back. But, you know, they won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, so they'll probably be, Nick Foles is capable of guiding the team to however long he has to. He's a capable backup. Smart of the Eagles to keep this guy because they didn't know what Wentz was going to be coming into the year, how long he was going to take, if he was ready. Not cleared, not good. Even so, with almost all of the starters returning from the team that won the Super Bowl, I mean that means that's just one of the things, in my opinion, that make it so the Eagles are one of the more premier teams in football. They have a lot of people returning. Only a few guys are gone. Wentz will be back. They're a very complete squad, and that actually does complete the NFL power rankings. I think it was written by some idiot at Harrison NFL. If you want to follow him on Twitter, this is from NFL.com. Their power rankings. Um, this will get better as I go on and get more used to doing it. Thank you for listening to NFL Power Rankings for Week 1. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I will be doing this every Tuesday for when they release the Power Rankings for the week prior. So Week 2 will come around this time next week. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Sorry my voice sucks sometimes.